as the Bruins try to consolidate this string of good play at home. They currently stand 4th in the Atlantic Division. Roberto Luongo, one of the starting goalies, brought to you by your New England Audi dealers. Experience the new Audi A3 with legendary Audi Quattro all-wheel drive today. Luongo just 6-6 in the regular season in this building. Tuukka Rask against Florida lifetime 10-1, a 1.08 goals against average, a .964 save percentage, and 3 shutouts. Shawn Thornton gets the nod from head coach Gerard Gallant, and he will start at right wing for the Florida Panthers tonight. The game is on. The Bruins looking to make this a very difficult place to play against a team that is really stingy defensively, Brick.
Yeah, they've improved in that area. You know, they added some guys in the back end. The guy that just made that pass, Willie Mitchell, that brings a little bit more structure, a little bit more commitment to defense. They're growing as an organization. Some of their young players have a better understanding of how to play on the defensive side of the puck and play with a little structure, play with a little system. Of course, they got a strong goaltender now, a guy that they believe in, Roberto Luongo, whose numbers are excellent to start the year. But this is a Florida team that has a time scoring goals. 9 games in, and I think, once they've scored 3 or more?
Yeah, how are they doing it?
Exactly.
4-0-2 in their last 6, but they have been unbelievable in front of Luongo 5-on-5. At full strength, Luongo has allowed just 4 goals. But here's Louis Eriksson swiveling against Willie Mitchell in the corner, back to Adam McQuaid around the perimeter. Joe Morrow's drive, a blocker stop by Luongo. Thornton taps past Mitchell. Eriksson picks it up, swoops in front. The shot, Mitchell blocks it. You see Mitchell wearing the captain's C on the upper left side of his chest. Joe Morrow's looked very poised, as has number 5, Aaron Ekblad, the number 1 pick in the draft, and Florida very excited about his future. Bergeron's wrist shot smacks off the end glass. Seidenberg tries to chip it forward. Jussi Jokinen headmans the puck to Thomas Fleischmann. Drive and a kick saved by Rask. Fleischmann goes down in front of the Zamboni doors. Marchand can't get the puck out of his own zone. Brad Boyes back to Fleischmann. Works against Marchand to the corner. Flips the backhand to Jokinen. He lets it slide to Brian Campbell. Along the line, Ekblad's shot knocked down in front. Bergeron can't clear past Campbell. Back to Ekblad. Smith gets a piece of the pass. Boyes handles Fleischmann's cross-ice slap pass. Hamilton goes shoulder to shoulder with Boyes. Then picks up the puck back of the goal.
A little confusion by that Bergeron line in their own zone. Both Marchand and Riley Smith both at the same point trying to defend.
Scotty Upshall playing in his 500th NHL game tonight. Sends it up the boards. Joe Morrow off the apron of the goal. Adam McQuaid sees the hit from Scott Bjugstad coming. It's a pretty large line they got up there right now for Gallant's Florida Panthers. You got Jimmy Hayes from Dorchester, who goes 6'6", and Bjugstad's either 6'5" or 6'6", depending on whose chart you believe. Either way, they can hit and it can hurt.
Yeah, if you give them an opportunity to chip pucks in a space where you got to go back and make plays under duress, you know those big bodies are coming, and they're committed to make contact.
It was that very thing that led to Florida's first goal the other night against Philadelphia. Jimmy Hayes chipping the puck in, and they let the dogs off the leash. They went in, pounded, and cycled, got a goal out of it. Dylan Olsen squirts the puck up the boards to Bjugstad. He reels it, but Griffith picks it off at the blue line and sends it in deep. Good Branson around through the corner. Hayes gives it back. Bjugstad to Upshall to the near boards. Olsen takes a whack at it. They say Dylan Olsen's really been a good influence on Eric Goodbranson, giving Goodbranson some stability for maybe the first time in Goodbranson's 4-year career. Colby Roback, a defenseman who can play wing, goes all the way in. Can't tuck the backhand in. It would have been his first NHL goal. Morrow gives it away on the boards. Grimaldi's pass back to Mitchell. Campbell takes it off the chest. The former Panther showing how it's done. Adam McQuaid. Trouble from Roback. Trocheck trying to wheel it in front. Here's Grimaldi, a little guy. He drives one off of Paille and it caroms to the corner. Roback takes the hit from Paille. Eats the puck against Morrow and Paille. Florida occupying the zone but not getting too much of a good look. McKenzie takes the quick snap pass from Ekblad. Orsovsky retreats away from Thornton. One hands it to Trotman. Slaps it around for Erickson. Louis Erickson cross ice. Orsovsky dishes, but Florida breaks up the play at its own blue line. Both teams able to get a good skating rhythm in the early going, but here's Kopecky as Trotman mishandles the puck. It's loose at the apron. Kopecky trying to muscle it forward with the blade of his skate. Smart play by Kopecky because his stick was tied up, so he went to work with his feet. Soderberg up to the blue line, flips it past Brian Campbell. Fraser gets tied up, centering pass blocked and squirts in front of Luongo. He dives on it to take the face-off.
Well, the Bruins having a little trouble managing the puck in their own zone right now, Jack. Last two shifts, 3 giveaways. Morrow tried to make a play up the wing boards. That was a tape-to-tape pass to the Panthers. McQuaid tried to go behind the net D-to-D. That got stolen, a wraparound chance. And then there was an opportunity by Roback through the neutral zone. A burst of speed where he got across the blue line. Got into that blue paint area. Couldn't finish on the backhand.
Bergeron wins a face-off from Jokinen. It gets past Boyes, who used to be Bergeron's winger. Bergeron scoops the backhand into the corner. Smith lifts Goodbranson's stick. That allows Marchand to go to work. He cycles it low for Bergeron. Quick move, loses Jokinen. Gets it to Marchand back of the goal. He goes this way and that on Goodbranson, but can't hold his edge. Goodbranson around the corner. Seidenberg backing off to play it safe as Boyes had a chance to break out but couldn't control the puck. Seidenberg, the long pass into Marchand, skates. Bergeron scales the backhand of the corner, and the Bruins will get a clean change. Dylan Olsen, number 4, 23 years old, giving it up the middle to Bjugstad. The play's offside as Upshaw had jumped the line.
One of those plays where Bjugstad feels like he has some options, but he's got speed coming up through the middle of the neutral zone. And just that little look off to hold on to the puck, to fake the pass. The wingers a little too anxious to get across the blue line.
Brick, you made a living for a long time as a winger. Is that a feel for the center and just understanding what he's got in his bag of tricks?
Absolutely, and then just got to have a little bit more awareness and presence of mind that when that puck doesn't come immediately, just make a little arc towards the blue line to keep yourself on side.
Speaking of wingers, handsome number 25. Everybody looks good in that number, don't they? Matt Fraser going to work through the corner. Soderberg centers all the way back to Morrow, and Morrow's drive rattles around the front. Morrow driving it low and all the way through the seams. Not necessarily a head-hunting or a back-scratching slap shot, but getting it on goal.
And he made that little lateral move in order to create a better passing lane, shooting lane, excuse me.
Brian Campbell backs in against Louis Erickson, goes D-to-D. Ekblad sends Roback ahead. He bangs off Kelly, but here's Grimaldi. The shot just wide of the glove side. Rocco Grimaldi looking for his first NHL goal. Seth Griffith on the off wing pulls up against Ekblad. Gets some traffic from Lucic to open it up. Orsovsky's blast. Luongo makes a glove save. 13:49 to go in a briskly played opening period. 0-0 between Roberto Luongo's Panthers and the Boston Bruins. Twisted but true fact of the game, Matt Fraser scored 2 goals Saturday against Ottawa, but the last man wearing number 25 for the Bruins to score a hat trick is my partner, Andy Brickley, the last Bruin wearing number 25 to score a hat trick. Twisted tea, hard iced tea, the refreshing hard iced tea that tastes like real iced tea. Be a little twisted. November 18th, 1989. Seems like yesterday. Almost.
Truth be told, that was the team I played for right before coming to Boston, so you know I enjoyed that.
See what you could have had?
See what you had?
Yeah, exactly. Olsen's blast goes into Trotman's legs. Olsen tries the corner route out ahead of Trocheck. Trocheck behind the back move against Morsovsky, brings it to Goodbranson, fires it cross ice. Olsen off Griffith's stick, gets through Trotman, but there's Morsovsky to rescue the puck. Griffith tries to send Kelly through the seam, but Olsen gets a piece of the puck. Trocheck back to pick it up. If Trocheck's name sounds familiar, you must have been watching the Bruins game against Florida on the 9th of March last season when Trocheck played 22 minutes and 27 seconds for the Florida Panthers in what was just his second NHL game. But he did pretty well in the AHL, and they wanted to see if he could haul the freight at the highest level.
They've had good energy, those two recent call-ups, Trocheck, Grimaldi.
Yeah.
They've already had a couple of good looks in the offensive zone.
Here is Trocheck, headmans the puck to Kopetsky, fires it off glass, and Thornton goes to work. Rask flicks the puck along through the corner, and the play's coming all the way back for offside.
Yeah, I think the puck hit the rounded glass there by the Bruin bench.
Sean Thornton, 480 games in the regular season in a Bruins uniform. He's dropped the gloves 102 times, according to hockeyfights.com, which keeps track of it a lot better than almost anybody else can.
Yeah, Florida went out and acquired some guys like a Sean Thornton with Stanley Cup pedigrees. Of course, his Bruins Stanley Cup, his cup with Anaheim. They got Willie Mitchell on the back end now as their captain. Stanley Cup championship experience. Dave Bolin not in the lineup tonight. We're all familiar with that name.
Oh, yes. Gagne's shot. Stick saved by Luongo.
And even hired John Madden as assistant coach. He has 3, I believe.
Yep. A lot of jewelry. Thornton on the wing against Morsovsky. Throws it on Rask. He sticks it to the glass. Derek McKenzie belts it down the boards. Thornton wheels it. An easy blocker stop for Rask. Trotman's pass hits the apron and gives Morsovsky a little trouble. Gagne, cross ice. The Bruins get a clean breakout. Paille drags it along. Kolyukov knocks the puck loose to Kopetsky. He's got Jokinen going forward. There's some deadwood on the ice. Seidenberg nimbly steps over it in one hand, saucers it to Hamilton, who chips off glass to make the safe play out to center. Ekblad fires the pass out to Jokinen. Dangerous across the zone. Bergeron takes the gift, rattles around, still loose. Oh, an unbelievably quick whistle. As that puck was clearly rattling around, and I think Dean Morton with hand on hip knows that he blew it too soon.
Yeah, when you make a pass from the strong side back to the weak side on the back diagonal, you can't have you back to the play. Jokinen just didn't see enough bodies, and Bergeron able to use a little bit of a screen, able to put pressure. Campbell actually got back. That was a big play. Tapped the puck off the stick of Bergeron, even though the Bruins get burned by a quick whistle with good pressure. Good recovery by Campbell.
Bergeron from Marchand. Bjugstad intercepts his centering pass. Neat little flip to Upshaw. He bounces it down to the corner. Hamilton swoops into the backhand. Marchand tips it ahead. Ekblad toward goal, just wide of the stick side post. Brian Campbell down the boards off Bjugstad's forehand. He wrestles with Hamilton. Hamilton A-frames, wins the puck, gets it to Smith, now to Marchand. Excellent work from Dougie Hamilton deep in the defensive zone leads to this. Marchand holds up in the eddy of the flow. Morrow steps into it. It goes off Bjugstad's legs to the corner. Smith to Marchand at the dot, cycling with Bergeron. Bergeron holds. Now Morrow's driving another low rebound shot. Another blast from Hamilton. These young defensemen are getting the shots through. Not necessarily loading up for 100 miles an hour, or making sure it's low and on goal.
Yeah, and getting open for a cycling threesome. The Bergeron line had a nice cycle going in the offensive zone, which opened up the points.
Matt Fraser holds his cross ice pass off Boys, but Morrow's there to rescue it. Erickson to Morrow on the rush. Morrow pulls up bottom of the circle. Erickson rotating to the point, gives over to McQuaid. Fraser down the slot. McQuaid's pass through the corner. Goodbranson takes it on a pull. Eric Goodbranson off Soderberg's skate. Got a little confused at his own end. Didn't have to force a pass. Fleischmann pushes it all the way down as Florida changes out. McQuaid to Erickson. He holds. Seidenberg has to retrieve with Trocheck in his face. McQuaid. Soderberg coming back, stays with the bad bounce and flips it ahead. Dmitry Kolyikov back to pick it up. Kolyikov playing 24 minutes and 7 seconds per game, leading Florida in average time on ice. Lucic's pass, bad place to turn it over. Here's Grimaldi looking for Trocheck, the back into Kolyikov, the blast, and then Griffith blocks it. That one stung. Drops his stick, which broke, picks up new lumber.
Bruins had bodies back, but they allowed that seam to the high slot.
Kelly over the line. Griffith has Hamilton nearby. Keeps possession, then saucers it over Kopetsky's stick. Lucic gets it deep. Ryan Campbell on the turn, accelerating, 35 years old, 15th year in the league, and he can still fly. Cross ice to Thornton with Campbell going middle to blast, and Trotman goes to one knee to take the block. Kopetsky swivels it back up the boards. Griffith intercepts, gets it between the stick and the skates of McKenzie. Referee Dean Morton doing a good job to get that broken stick of Griffith out of the main route of play.
You usually don't see referees in the middle of the ice.
No, but he picked it up and got it out of the way. It's potentially a really dangerous situation with players looking for the puck in traffic and maybe stepping on a stick going full speed. Jimmy Hayes, 3 years at BC. To Goodbranson. Paille attacks the puck against Olsen, but from his fanny, he makes the play up the boards to Upshaw. Gregory Campbell gets it back. Adam McQuaid, tumbling muffin, and Luongo parries it to the corner. That's a fencing term, Rick. That's parry, you know.
On guard.
Adam McQuaid off the wall. Willie Mitchell with the puck in his skates. Here's Boyes to Jokinen. Jokinen on the backhand off the side of the goal. It's loose back of the net. Morrow in a wrestling match with Fleischman. Mitchell's one-timer off McQuaid's skate right to Marchand. 3-on-2 off ice. Smith on the left, Bergeron on the right. Marchand on the net drive, and Willie Mitchell makes an excellent defensive play denying Patrice Bergeron's pass. Boyes flicks the puck to Seidenberg's corner. The tap to Hamilton. He draws Roback. Cross ice. Fraser in the open space. Has Erickson in the middle. The shot from Fraser. It's loose as Soderberg goes right after it. Hamilton spoons it to the corner. Soderberg in motion. Ekblad gives him a bump. Roback loses control of the puck. And Grimaldi fires it across to Trocheck to Ekblad. Aaron Ekblad has yet to turn 19 years old. Plays with a lot of poise for a kid who could be a freshman in college right now. Zach Trotman up the middle of the Boston zone. Louis Erickson to Fraser. Flicks the backhand wide of Luongo. And Goodbranson charges straight up the ice. Lucic angles him off, and Kopetsky's ahead of the play. 30-second break here. A tribute to Sean Thornton coming up at TD Garden. Stick around. You're not going to want to miss that.
AT&T wants to take you. Sign up and throw a low for the month of
He's a
November.
Florida Panther right now, but Boston is always going to be home for Sean Thornton. And the moment that many have anticipated has arrived here at TD Garden. A tribute coming for a guy who changed the room and tries to change the world around him for the better.
Throws his shoulder wide to Gilbert. Comes out of the puck, dangles, and
Augustine, Thornton, Sean Paris. Steelworking family in Oshawa, Ontario. After a morning skate preceding a Game 7, a member of the media in the Bruins dressing room asked Sean Thornton, "Are you guys feeling pressure about tonight's game?" And he said, "We're going to play a hockey game tonight. Pressure is 3 kids and no job."
We'll go back to the first day when the Bruins acquired or signed Sean Thornton, talking to Brian Burke, and he said, "You're going to love this guy."
Thornton to Kopetsky, the pass into his skates. Paille whips the puck around the boards. Kulikov pops it up. Gagne blocks it back to center. This does not look like your grandfather's Florida Panthers.
Nope.
This team is playing with structure, quickness, and eagerness, and is very alert.
Yeah, they only have 4 shots on goal. They've got a couple of real good looks, but their structure defensively is a lot more evident.
Dougie Hamilton pries the puck loose from Scotty Upshall. Seth Griffith sends it back to the corner. Seidenberg's got to race Upshall. He's very quick, so he just knocks him over. Seidenberg using the body and caving in Scotty Upshall. Hamilton scoops it long distance. Kulikov bats it past Griffith. Hayes can't maneuver past Hamilton at the Boston line. Griffith gets it over the top.
And part of that structure that we talk about is the back pressure from the forwards. Pretty good hit by Florida in the first period.
Fleischmann against the stumbling Morrow. The shot rebound off Rask. And Morrow is back to pick it up. Hard pass to Griffith. Had to get some Chinese mustard on it to get across the defensive zone. Sweet pass from Ekblad to Fleischmann. He gets sealed off on McQuaid's check. Griffith tries to tip it past Ekblad. The 18-year-old whips it around the glass. Jokinen looking for Fleischmann in front. Decides to go indirect. Ekblad catches the puck, wrists it toward goal, loose in front. McQuaid actually knocked it away from Rask in the scramble, but Rask clamps down the trapper on it. 4:56 to go in a fast-moving first period. The Bruins out shooting Florida 9-6. It's 0-0 on the scoreboard.
No score first period. Bruins Panthers. We talk about the cycle game. What the cycle does, it creates triangles in the offensive zone. The Bergeron line, when they're at their best, that's what they create. They create those triangles, and it frees up the point. And even though Morrow's shot gets blocked, they get back into that rotation again. That cycle game, what does it create? It creates triangles, and when you do that, you create 2-on-1s, and you create people that are open. And if you got to use the points, use them, and then get to the front of the net.
Ryan Campbell through both corners. Ekblad pinching in. Marchand puts the body on him, wins the puck away to Hamilton. He leads out Riley Smith. Smith tries a diagonal pass. Campbell takes it away. Ryan Campbell off the boards. Riley Smith couldn't keep the puck in the attacking zone. It's offside.
Catching all new Instigators Thursday night following NESN Sports Today. They'll discuss the explosion of suspensions recently around the league, as well as who was the scariest team in the NHL. The gloves come off Thursday on the Instigators, presented by Electric Supply Center, driven to help you compete.
Well, Denny Potvin was a little bit upset at an incident in which he thought Keith Yandle should have been suspended, involving a Florida player. He actually called out Chris Pronger on the broadcast. Probably not going to win a whole lot of points with the league. I don't know why I know that. Bergeron fires it on Luongo, and he turns it into the stands. Now, you know, Brick, I know it was going on 4 seasons ago, and that's a long, long time, but it's so spectacular, I got to mention it. Roberto Luongo's numbers in this building during the Stanley Cup final in 2011. An 8.05 goals against average, a .773 save percentage, and 0-3. Rask, Warsofsky.
Won 3 home games, though.
Yep. But Takes 4, doesn't it? Branson marches into one and drives it off the pile with Thornton jamming against Warsofsky and Rask coming off his line. Branson, an interesting story for the Florida Panthers. Number 3 overall pick in 2010. And the way Florida was going through coaches and systems, it seemed to impede his progress as a player, because physically, Eric Branson has got the package, no doubt.
Yeah, it seems, I don't think, is accurate. It definitely did. And as a young guy like that, especially playing that position for this franchise, it's just so difficult. You know, where does the support come from? Where's that long sense of alumni, people that are around the rink that were great Panther players? They're going to take that kid aside and mold him and help the current team. Give this guy a sense of belonging and understanding and support. It just wasn't there. It wasn't in place, and that's really hard. That is a tremendous challenge for a young guy.
Unbelievably hard position to learn, especially at the age when he's breaking into the league.
He talked to Ray Bork, and he says that the most influential people, were early in his career when he came to the Bruins. Guys like Terry O'Reilly and Wayne Cashman that were, late into their careers, but the establishment and the alumni that were around, the Jean Ratels, the Jerry Cheeverses. I mean, those were the guys that really had an impact on a talented young defenseman like Raymond Bork. And I'm not saying that's what Branson is, but you certainly get a benefit from that.
Yeah. Colby Roback flips the puck past Grimaldi. Morrow's bouncer through the slot. Joe Morrow, for all his skills and ability to be fancy, plays a nice, simple game. When it's available, he'll just crack the puck at net and usually get it on net or right in the vicinity. He's already made his share of mistakes, and he's going to make some more, because it's probably the hardest position to play in sports, to be a defenseman in the NHL. Griffith brings it back to Seidenberg. I don't know if he meant to go wide or just healed off the stick. Hamilton to Seidenberg. This time he means it. Griffith picks it up on the carom, cycles out of the corner, tries to get around Ekblad. Stops at the point. The wrist shot tipped up and over as Lucic was parked unattended at the doorstep.
Heads up play by Griffith. He knows he's in one-on-one coverage when he gets to this intended pass, and a good pass by Seidenberg off the wall. Bruins doing a pretty good job down low, trying to spread out the offense. Good coverage by the Panthers, but Griffith makes a good play here. He's in one-on-one coverage. Ekblad's in coverage, so take it beyond the point where the defenseman is unsure. Am I still supposed to go beyond the tops of the circles? Or am I supposed to turn him over to the winger that's out there in that neighborhood, almost in a zone defense? And now you get a little time and space because people back off. Not sure who's got who. And then you try to put the puck to the net to get the redirect that's over the crossbar.
Branson risks it hard off glass. Seidenberg with Fleischmann on him. Gets forced to the end boards. Hamilton 1 against 2. Fleischmann in front past Jokinen. The drive from Olsen and a save by Rask, tipping it past the post. Branson off of Seidenberg's shoulder in front. Marchand can't get the puck out of the zone. Jokinen back to Branson, wrists it off Seidenberg, skates, and it tumbles out near side to Hamilton. He's got space and he'll skate into it. Hamilton gives it to Smith with Bergeron on the net drive. The pass comes off a leg. Marchand tracks it down, whacks it down to the corner. Branson scoops it forward to Olsen. And Kopecky out of the zone. Smith reaches behind the back, gloves it down. Marchand takes the hit from Kolyikov. Olsen off the boards and out.
Now that last save that Rask made, he really had to fight the traffic in order to get a look at it and get a piece of it with his glove.
Trotman has trouble from Kopecky, who's got McKenzie in the middle, right across the goal line. Kolyikov risks the puck into the corner. Kopecky backs into Warsofsky, who's maintained his position, and the puck came right to him because he put his boots down. Bruins ice it here.
Hit the slopes and get to a Bruins game this season for just $99. The Bruins, Loon Mountain, and 98.5 The Sports Hub have teamed up to give you the Skate and Ski ticket package. Purchase a Skate and Ski ticket to select Bruins games and you receive a free lift ticket to Loon Mountain, New England's most accessible mountain resort destination. and the home of Superior Snow. To purchase tickets, visit bostonbruins.com/skate-and-ski.
You talk about Superior Snow. They got more than a foot north of Mount Washington. Some places in Maine got 20 inches, especially down east. Ski areas are opening. Here it comes, folks.
There was more than a dusting on that field down in Foxborough the other day, too.
Yes, my wife was working there for a different network, and that made for a terrible morning for the Crews. Willie Mitchell on the turn out of the corner in the final minute of the first period. Florida playing with structure, the likes of which most people haven't seen from the Panthers. Grimaldi has Roback going middle. Now Roback against Hamilton on the near side. Trocheck trying to throw it into the slot. Gagne breaks forward. Here's Hamilton trying to squeak it through to Gagne. Follows the puck, though, and that prevents Florida from getting a clean breakout.
Just a hair too soon to move that puck. Hamilton had a little more time, a little more space. Wanted to take that a little deeper.
Ryan Campbell. Trocheck goes indirect. Rask to the corner. Seidenberg indirect D-to-D to Hamilton. Final 10 seconds. Just puck management and clock management here. Hamilton to the middle of the zone. Soderberg through the legs, and that'll run out the clock in the first period. Shots on goal 10-7 in Boston's favor, but it's clear that goals are going to be hard won tonight.
And they have to be, because this is not an offensive team, the Florida Panthers, but what a difference, certainly in that opening 20 minutes. And it was really evident in the back check of the forwards and the commitment in the defensive zone to get in passing lanes and shooting lanes with pretty good stick position. Almost like we're describing the Bruins defensive system.
Well, Dale, we were looking at the low offensive numbers from Florida and wondering how they're doing it. 4-0-2 in their last 6 games despite scoring only 11 goals. Well, now we know.
Yeah, 2 words, Roberto Luongo.
Alongside Andy Brickley with Garrett Austin at ice level and our Nesson production crew, I'm Jack Edwards. Panthers and the Bruins moving the chess pieces around the board in the first period. Not a whole lot of highlight plays, 2 good structured defenses. The road ahead brought to you by Sullivan Tire and Auto Service. Visit sullivantire.com/road ahead. The Edmonton Oilers will come to town on Thursday, and Andrew Ference will not be playing because he's serving a suspension. New Jersey's in town on Monday, and then the Bruins have a back-to-backer. Well, what else? Because they got to play Montreal in the second half of it. So Montreal will have Wednesday off. We can promise you that. The Bruins will play a late game in Toronto on Wednesday night and then travel and then beat the Canadiens on Nesson next Thursday.
You know, you mentioned Denny Podman earlier, and I'm looking at that next game, the Edmonton Oilers. When we were on the road the other day, there was a classic NHL game on. 1983, Islanders Oilers, Game 4 of the Stanley Cup Finals.
And how many pieces of lumber did he break over Edmonton players and not get called for a single penalty for it?
Nor should he have.
Exactly. You want nice? Play bridge. Game summary brought to you by your New England Chevy dealers. And it's not an insult at all to any of the women who play this game. But I love it when Brick says it's a man's game out there tonight. Willie Mitchell. Dmitry Kolyakov snaps the pass. Past Thornton, who's out there to start a period for the second straight time. McQuaid gets caved in on Kopetsky's hit in the corner. Chris Kelly, who had to leave for a bit after taking a slash across the arm in the first period. Back in action to start the second. Throws it into the corner where Griffith pursues against Mitchell. Mitchell so strong on his skates and on the stick. Off the deflection. It comes across the Derek McKenzie. McKenzie, a journeyman forward who will fill a number of roles. He'll scrap if he needs to. He will kill penalties. You can move him up and down the lineup. Thornton flicks into the corner as the Bruins aren't clean out of their defensive zone. Seidenberg has trouble catching up to the puck on the wall. Griffith, the lateral pass to Kelly. Tape to Lucic to the red line. He goes cross corner and the Bruins will change out. Campbell leads out Ekblad cross ice with something on it. Fleischmann to Jokinen, the shot and a save by Rask. 200 feet on some cross ice passing and some good skating through the seam.
Yeah, take advantage of the Bruins making a line change when they have to dump the puck in cross corner, and that's going to open up a number of seams on fresh ice. And if you're well positioned and they execute, you make the right decisions, you'll get an opportunity. They work the puck from the right wing side to the left wing side, hit the man coming down the middle. That quick shot forced Raz to make a stop.
Marchand to McQuaid. Over the spoke beat of Bergeron, but a good stick check from Ekblad. Kills the puck there. Rask to the corner. Joe Morrow. Not much on it. Fleischmann goes for a spin as he and McQuaid both go down, getting tied up in pursuit. Riley Smith from behind the red line. Marchand wins the race against Ekblad, so there's no icing. Marchand turns the stick. He gets the toe of the blade on it to knock the puck to the corner. Bjugstad out battles Bergeron, now makes a cross ice pass. Boys wheels it to Campbell. He'll let it trickle into the zone and change out. Morrow takes a hit from Bjugstad, who's more than willing to throw the big body around. Riley Smith the cut back, hits Soderberg. Soderberg to the right wing. He saw Marchand out of the corner of his eye, but Marchand was pulling into the gate. Here's Bjugstad. Fraser, the stick check. Upshaw belts it down through the corner. Rask chips it over the stick of Hayes to Orsovsky. A couple of Massachusetts bred players right there. Jimmy Hayes strokes the backhand to the end boards, follows through. Fraser getting it loose to Soderberg. His pass does not connect to Eriksson, and it's icing. For his trivia question of the day, against which team did Shawn Thornton score his 2012 penalty shot? Visit NESN.com/TheForce for the answer and enter to win a $50 gift certificate that can be used at the Force Restaurant and Sports Bar in Boston, Quincy, or Norwell.
And I believe if you were watching that tribute closely, you may have seen it.
Tuukka Rask gave him the famous nod from the Boston goal, saying, yeah, do that move you do against me. Scramble in front, and Fraser calms things down. Grimaldi turns and fires and cranks one. Grimaldi is listed at 5'6", 160. You know he has got to be waterbug quick if he's going to survive in this league or even get a chance. But the guy can find seams and he'll fire it.
I know Claude Julien was asked about Seth Griffith at his size and the analogies to a guy like Marty St. Louis. Grimaldi even smaller than that, but that's a guy to aspire to be like. You can have the skill set and the tools, but it's about compete, taking the body, being a complete player. And you watch a guy like St. Louis play. Yeah, play like him.
Helps if from the belly button down you're built like pilings of a pier, which is from years and years and years of going to the weight room every other day. Kopetsky weaving into the Boston zone, fires but wide of the stick side. Funny bounce off of Stanchion. Thornton throws it into the middle. Good stick check, but here's the drive from Ekblad and a save by Rask. Campbell up the boards. Paille can't find it in his skates. Campbell, slap pass intended for Derek McKenzie coming off the half boards. Florida playing with tremendous energy here. Jussi Jokinen steals at the blue line, but here's Paille taking the feed. Gregory Campbell on his right. Paille tries a self-pass, but Ekblad, the 18-year-old, maintains great body position. Fleischmann leads out Ekblad. Open ice and some big strides. The backhand to Boyes does Jokinen. He scores! Ekblad to Boyes to Jokinen, and Florida is on the board first.
Well, at first blush, this looked like a bad gap defensively by Boston. Seemed like they gave up their blue line a little too easily, and a wrist shot's going to find its way to the back of the net, but you almost got the sense that this was going to happen, that Florida was going to score first. This is basically a 3-on-3, potentially a 4-on-3. And with Gagne pressuring the puck on the back check, there's just too much room, too much space. Hamilton's below the tops of the circles, Seidenberg's down below the hash mark. They must have been reading 4-on-3 to be that deep in their own zone defensively. But Florida's getting the better of the skating game, Jeff, especially on the back check. The Bruins really haven't had any kind of sustained attack.
Bergeron tips it away from Goodbranson, trickles it forward. Dylan Olsen throws the backhand to the corner. Here comes Boyes, cross ice. Olsen circles back. Bergeron taps it away. Good Branson swipes it up the boards past Marchand. Smith rotating back, gets it from Bergeron, tries to go through Fleischmann. Bergeron trickles in next to the goal. Marchand steps out. Bergeron can't get the shot off cleanly as Fleischmann got his stick in the path of this shot from
First
Bergeron.
goal of the season for Jussi Jokinen, assisted by Brad Boyes and Aaron Ekblad.
Wrists off glass, no icing. Mitchell with Kolyakov switching. Long indirect for Scott Bjugstad over the Boston line, but Warsofsky's there with help from Griffin. Trotman threw a stick. And what do we got? A delayed offside?
I believe so.
Yep. There was contact by the Florida player on the outlet pass from Boston on a previous offside violation.
Get another look at the goal, and as a defenseman here, you're Seidenberg and you're Dougie Hamilton. You can see Gagne pressuring the puck, but if your timing is such that you're so deep that you're giving up too much of your offensive zone, bad things are going to happen. You just have to ask those guys if they thought it was a 4-on-3 and had to back off, but even then, they're still a little too deep.
And this is offside at Boston's attacking line. Aaron Ekblad has points in consecutive games for the first time in his brief career. A goal and an assist for 2 points in 2 games, including tonight. And Jokinen has extended his scoring streak to 5 games with a goal and 5 assists in that period. Glenn Morrow turns away from Hayes. Up the boards for Lucic. Turns it over at the Boston line. Bjugstad to Upshaw to Hayes. Griffith with the stick lift. Good back checking from Seth Griffith. Now the Bruins have to turn defense into offense. Lucic 1 against 2. Griffith there to take the pop up, but Kolyakov caves him in. Roback belts it out of the zone. Trotman knocks it flat, but has to retrieve.
Again, Bjugstad coming back through the middle on the back check. Lucic tries to make a play to the middle of the ice, coming out of his own zone. Stolen.
Ekblad does not connect with Grimaldi. That's icing against Florida.
This week, NESN debuted a new daily morning show, NESN Sports Update. Tomorrow morning continues Tom Caron's exclusive sit-down with Red Sox manager John Farrell. The subject, Cuban outfielder Rusty Castillo. Every morning from 5 to 9, get up to date on the world of New England sports with NESN Sports Update.
Zach Trotman taps the puck to the circle. Eriksson the pick for Fraser. He gets off the quick shot, and Luongo makes a positional save. Ekblad turns the goal. Works it off the boards behind Grimaldi. Trocheck around through the corner. Warsofsky. D to D. Trotman gives back to Warsofsky. Banks it for Fraser, but good work from Thornton. Breaks it down. Kopecky too far forward for McKenzie. Trotman against the shielding McKenzie. Kopecky to the corner to win the race for the puck. He goes upended by Fraser, and then Thornton goes down with Soderberg clipping him. Trotman, Eriksson, he rolls it into the Florida zone, but the Panthers have numbers as the Bruins change out. Ekblad. Center circle, it's off Hamilton's skates. Bergeron, the self pass into Ekblad's corner. Bergeron gets his stick caught up in, his skates caught up in Ekblad's stick and goes down. Bergeron on the turnaround, scores! Patrice Bergeron guns it in. It's his first goal in 12 games, and it is a meaningful one for a Bruins team struggling to find the offense tonight.
Well, it started with a turnover in the neutral zone, and then the Bruins get real active in the offensive end. Much better puck pursuit, much better skating game. We showed you that line in the first period, back together with a good cycle game and a good support down low with the short passing routes. And this is a heads-up little chip pass. First of all by Riley Smith, then Brad Marchand. And a heads-up play by Bergeron to release that puck before Luongo could get set and roofed it.
Smith to Bergeron in the corner. Knocks the puck flat with the toe of the blade. Branson caves him in. Bergeron hops up with a B under his bonnet.
Boston goal
Branson.
scorer number
Now
37.
Jokinen, the goal scorer for Florida, tries to see to Boyce. Behind Seidenberg takes the hit to move it to Kelly. Kelly patient with the puck, gives to Smith. He's got Hamilton on the right. Hamilton's shot goes over the glove side of Luongo. Kelly fires it toward goal. It goes right through Olsen's legs. Seth Griffith on the boards. The Bruins with a tremendous lift from the Bergeron goal. Branson up the wall. Upshaw getting hit and gives up the puck. Griffith stick handles into a thicket. McQuaid hammers the puck loose. Comes back across to Morrow. North and south to Lucic. Off the stick. Griffith pulls up. Runs over Dylan Olsen, who loses his stick in the battle. Morrow's blast sails wide of the glove side of Luongo. Olsen throws his shoulder into Gagne. Branson has to eat the puck against the back wall. Gagne stabbing it loose. Lucic with a jump step to get away from Bjugstad to win that race for the puck. Bruins winning races and winning the 50-50s along the wall. Lucic can't swivel it all the way through to Morrow. Upshaw, the short shift for Bjugstad. Holds, fires it, looking for Upshaw. Now Hayes is driving, a stick save by Rask. Bjugstad goes indirect. Mitchell's drive knocked loose by Hayes in front, who loses his helmet, and Rask makes a nifty stop with Hayes on the doorstep. Hayes looking old school with no hat. Brings it back up the boards. Kolyakov can't keep it in. Good work from Gagne, and Lucic clear. Well, now it's picking up.
Yeah, and that last shift in the offensive zone, Lucic did a real strong job in his one-on-ones to keep it alive. And then he tried to go back to that left point. If he realized he had half a second more, he had Griffith wide open in the slot.
Trotman off the boards. Pye does a nice job shielding against Mitchell. Gets it deep. Luongo out of his net. Kolyakov dangerous across the zone. Warsofsky, nice maneuver around the larger row back. Throws it toward goal. Campbell catches it. Tries to turn and jam. And Luongo holds the post. 9:59 to go. Second period. Patrice Bergeron gets the Bruins on the board. It has lifted the entire team.
On Bruins Face Off Live, we introduce tonight's mobile Bruins poll presented by the new Scion TC. Which player was your favorite Bruins enforcer? Reply A for Lyndon Byers, B for Terry O'Reilly, C for Sean Thornton, or D for John Wensink. Text your answer to 536-536. Message and data rates may apply. Text HELP for info and visit NESN.com/terms for terms and conditions and privacy policy. Jack, I wouldn't want to mess with any of those guys.
Hey, you know, where's the love for Wensink? Marchand turns and fires wide of the stick side of Luongo. Trotman takes a hard hit from Thornton. That makes him reel backward. Kopetsky's blast, stick save, Rask off the glass and into the protected net.
It's really a shame that that poll question can only have 4 answers on it.
We should have quarters, semis, and finals. Like
I mean, you love those 4 guys that are on there, but I mean, just think about the other names that could be right along with it. Have a write-in ballot.
Yeah,
if
right.
you care to.
Stan Jonathan.
Jay Miller.
We never knew when we were watching him at UNH that guy could fight like that. Hand pass ruled. And the faceoff's going to come out into the neutral zone.
I mean, yeah, and we could go on and on and on, and you don't want to slight anybody.
Yeah.
And I remember being a kid, hanging on every Bruins game, every broadcast possible, some epic bouts by guys like Cashman. You know, I mean, it was unbelievable.
Yeah. In Montreal, they talk about passing the torch, and here they just hand you the dented lunch bucket, and they say, take care of this.
I mean, even number 4 believed in it all, didn't he?
Oh, yeah. the epic bout with Pat Quinn, where you see the fan pressed face against the glass with the ghoulish expression as if to say, yeah, now that you got him down, kill him. Thornton scoops it down toward Rask. Hamilton out of the zone. Erickson laterally to Fraser. To Hamilton with a one-hander. Sweet work from the Bruins as they take it 200 feet. Two teams playing structured hockey, but finding some openings as the tempo increases in the second. It's 1-1.
The exciting rewind is brought to you by Berkshire Bank, where no two customers are alike. We're going to rewind at about 4 minutes of clock time. It all starts with the Bruins in the neutral zone. Good stand up. Dougie Hamilton creates the turnover, and then the Bergeron line goes to work. Good support on the forecheck. Hey, if Florida's going to have 4 guys down below the dot, we're certainly going to bring all 3 forecheckers. Riley Smith, read and react, get to the wall. Marchand, close proximity. Heads up, little chip pass to Bergeron. The turnaround, quick release. This puck was on edge. If you take a look at where this shot goes, but love this read right here by Riley Smith, and then Marchand with that support. With a puck on edge, and Campbell putting his stick in there, that puck may have ramped up a little quicker than Luongo thought.
Vote for your favorite exciting rewind and enter the mortgage sweepstakes. Each month, Berkshire will give away great prizes, and at the end of the season, one winner will have their mortgage paid for a year. Go to NESN.com/Berkshire Bank for details. Life is exciting. Let Berkshire Bank help. Jussi Jokinen and Carl Soderberg on the face-off. Soderberg wins it over to Fraser, to Hamilton. He wrists it around past Erickson. Seidenberg pitches down against Boys. Fraser on the rotation tumbles out of the glove of Roberto Luongo. And Goodbranson jousts with Soderberg. Roberto Luongo signed a 12-year contract when he was with Vancouver, and it ended up being an albatross. But he has returned to Florida. Hamilton's one-timer, and Luongo punches it to the corner. Fleischmann out-battles Hamilton to get the puck out to center, but the Bruins take possession right back. Griffith hoists the puck to the corner. Olsen whacks it to Goodbranson, but he's got pressure from Griffith. Now Hayes to Boys across ice. Hamilton. Lucic catches his skate edge and goes for a tumble. Fleischmann turns off the half boards. Mitchell to Fleischmann, plays it off his skate. Lucic plays the body. Fleischmann maneuvers around. Mitchell whistles it just wide of the screen. Kolikov chopping it to the corner. Florida looking for a change here. They'll go out man by man. Here's a giveaway. Bjugstad's backhand. And Hamilton keeps it from getting through to Rask. Bjugstad gloves it from his fanny in the corner. Seidenberg slides back to Hamilton, pulls Hayes toward him, and then throws the puck to Kelly, and Upshaw goes right through Kelly. Hayes sees the hit from Hamilton coming, so he throws the puck deep. Bjugstad, big body, bangs Seidenberg. Upshaw going in hard against Griffith. Hamilton has to wait for the puck, fires it off glass. Kolikov knocks it down. Upshaw off Lucic's stick, bouncing in the slot. Kelly tries to steer it out, can't. Kolikov to the corner. Bjugstad back to Kolikov. Kolikov fakes the shot, takes the shot. Look out, head high on Bjugstad, who's 6'5". Hamilton hammers it off the corner boards. Kolikov turns and whistles one off the end wall as well. Hamilton off glass, still not out. Mitchell losing the wrestling match against Lucic. And a little bit of a jeer from the faithful at TD Garden.
Bruins need a play right now coming out of their own zone. Seidenberg and Hamilton been out there a while.
Seidenberg can't get it away from Trocheck. Vincent Trocheck through the corner, but Paille swoops in, takes the puck away, and screams through the neutral zone. Gagne to Campbell, can't butt it through Brian Campbell. Now Gregory Campbell for the Bruins going into the corner. Rollback withstands the hit from McQuaid to move the puck forward. They're going to call McQuaid for holding. First power play of the game coming with 6:19 remaining in the second period.
It's actually a good decision by McQuaid to cut off the lane before the red line. And don't go back. Be aggressive in the neutral zone. Own the ice. Take the body. And he comes at a pretty good angle in order to eliminate. There's your body contact. And as both go down, it looked like they each had their free hand out. But McQuaid's going to go to the box. 1-1 hockey game. These are not uncharted waters, certainly for the Florida Panthers.
Power play stats are brought to you by Echo Store Technologies. A Panthers 1 for 4 on the power play Saturday night. They have power play goals in 2 straight games. But their special teams have let them down on the whole. Campbell, Fleischman top of the circle, the wrist shot. Trotman with a good block, and he chops it past Marchand. The Bruins will get fresh legs out.
Yeah, that's a big play by Trotman, because it was Trotman that had a chance after the face-off win to get an easy clear. And I think he thought there was more pressure coming than there was.
Boyes, the leading goal scorer on the power play for Florida with 2, goes into the corner, but Seidenberg is there at first. Seidenberg tries to get it around Fleischman. He squirts it loose, but Eriksson's there, and they want a shorthanded break. Kelly to Eriksson. Campbell pokes the puck to the corner. Eriksson keeps going after it and bleeds the clock a little bit. Ekblad tries to tip Eriksson over and can't. Upshaw wiggles the puck loose. Gregory Campbell on him. Excellent penalty killing shift for Louis Eriksson. Minute to go on the power play for Florida. Brian Campbell leads out the 18-year-old Aaron Ekblad, gives to Scotty Upshaw. Cranks it through both corners. Bjugstad pokes it loose. Hamilton takes it. Upshaw tries to go forehand backhand, but can't hold on to it. Upshaw in the rotation from Goodbranson. Now it's Kulikov skating down to the hash marks all the way to the corner. Kulikov back to Goodbranson. Goodbranson fires just wide at the stick side post. Bjugstad gives it away to Hamilton off of Gregory Campbell's back, and the puck bounces right to Kulikov. Down to the half boards to Upshaw, back to Kulikov. Kulikov to Goodbranson, a cranking shot that goes off a stick in front off the glass. Ends the stretch of zone time for the Florida Panthers, but can't get it deep, and the Bruins penalty killers are stuck on the ice. Bjugstad to Upshaw, chips it low. Puck bounces on Jimmy Hayes. Goodbranson on the boards. Paille throws it right back to the wall instead of out. Bjugstad low for Hayes, turns, and Warsofsky's check prevents Jimmy Hayes from using the huge reach to go backhand, forehand, and beat Rask to the spot.
You hate to see the failed clears come back to Hine, and it's a good thing they did. And Dougie Hamilton had a chance, and he hit one off the back of Campbell, and then Paille had an opportunity.
Marchand to Smith to Marchand. What a save by Luongo, as Marchand could not elevate the puck. Luongo had only one chance. It was to take away the bottom of the goal and hope that Marchand couldn't roof it. And that was exactly how it turned out. Thornton tries to whip it middle. It dribbles to Kopecky. Marchand with the steal. Smith works his way out of the Boston zone. Thornton gloves it down. Bergeron can't force it into the Florida end with possession.
Yeah, that was an opportunity again to turn that turnover into a quality scoring chance. It was there.
Kopecky's shot over the head of Tuukka Rask going down to the butterfly. The Bruins can't get the puck out of the zone. It goes right in front, and 5 black sweaters are around the house. Marchand angles against Trocheck. Marchand's underneath the puck. Just hand passes it forward. Ekblad over the spoked beat. Trocheck to Grimaldi off a stick. Griffith, the one-hand sweep. Lucic busting into open ice with Ekblad, and Griffith right there. The centering pass, and Griffith can't tip it home. Lucic tried to turn the corner. He had to try the speed move, but he couldn't quite get around in time. Rask will take the faceoff. Roberto Luongo makes the save of the night as Riley Smith sets up Brad Marchand. It remains 1-1 late second period.
Well, the pace has certainly picked up here in period number 2. We're tied at 1. Tremendous opportunity for Brad Marchand. Bruins create the turnover. Marchand and Riley Smith. Smith delivers a perfect pass. Marchand has the upper half of the net but can't find it. In transition, Lucic hard to the outside with good speed, and it's one of those tweeners. Where do you want to deliver this puck? Backhand, forehand. I'm going to try to get it across somewhere in your neighborhood. You try to finish. Pretty good effort by Grimaldi on the back check to disrupt that opportunity for Lucic and Griffith.
Pretty good effort by Ekblad to limit Lucic's options, even though Lucic still got off the centering pass. Ekblad, pretty impressive. Dylan Olsen stubs the puck. Gregory Campbell to Louis Erickson, takes it wide, skips it in on Luongo, who will scoop it off the ice with 2:27 to go in the second.
Tonight, following the post-game show, get the latest on NESN Sports Today, presented by People's United Bank. Adam and Gary will have more on the Panthers and Bruins, the details on the 3 Red Sox finalists for Gold Gloves, and former Patriot Jermaine Wiggins ranks his top 5 teams in the AFC. Get everything you need to know tonight after Bruins coverage.
If you're just joining us through the bottom of the hour, he's Andy Brickley. I'm Jack Edwards. Garrett Austin's at ice level, and our NESN production crew delivering the best pictures and sound in the business to you. It's the Bruins and the Florida Panthers. The Bees came from behind in this second period to tie it on Patrice Bergeron's second goal of the season. Jussi Jokinen, wing to wing to Brad Boyes. He trickles it to the end wall. Seidenberg with a big hit on Fleischmann to win the puck. Fraser to Erickson out in front of Soderberg. Mitchell sweeps at it. Soderberg turns it back. Kulikov over to help. Mitchell can't get it past Fraser. Kulikov chops it out to center. Hamilton guns it around through the corner. Bjugstad gets a late start, but uses the large reach to get the puck off the boards. Upshaw with a tight radius turn. Now Kulikov has a space on his off wing. The defenseman throws it toward goal. It goes off the stick and floats over the top. Campbell, the short pass off the boards to Gagne, and it flicks on past Ekblad. Ekblad, the tight turn against Paille. Gregory Campbell finishes his hit and flattens Ekblad. Seidenberg angles off Jimmy Hayes. McQuaid, indirect for Gregory Campbell, has Paille going up the boards. Campbell holds now, sees the opening across the way for Gagne. Brian Campbell can't get it past Paille on the end boards. Gagne squirts it through to Paille's skates. Brian Campbell pokes it back toward Gagne as we enter the final minute of the second period. Shots on goal, 15 apiece in this game. Good structured defense at both ends, but both teams finding a few more seams in the second than they did in the first. Trotman hard around into the zone as the Bruins change out. Ekblad goes north and south into Thornton, skates in front of the penalty bench. Marchand wheels it away from Thornton. He's got Smith on the net drive. Marchand pulls up as Bergeron goes to the corner. Thornton tries to self-pass. Marchand picks it off, centering pass. Marchand gets it right back. And this one goes up and out of play on a deflection.
The TD Bank Community Clubhouse and the Boston Bruins would like to welcome West End House to tonight's game. At TD Bank, they're committed to supporting the communities they serve by making a difference together.
Bergeron wins the faceoff away from Trocheck, but Hamilton can't keep the puck in the attacking zone. Saucers it over to Seidenberg. His pass trickles past Trocheck. Bergeron cross corner, firing it in with 20 to go. Marchand stick handling. Seidenberg. It deflects to the end boards. Marchand can't track down Bergeron's pass. And Grimaldi just loops it out. It rolls down to the corner. Seidenberg takes it. And Hamilton will skate the clock out in the second period. They'll go to the third. 1-1 after 40 minutes.
Well, the thought after the first 20, Jack, was pretty competitive game. Certainly Florida, good road game, defense structure, back pressure, stick position, body position, all the things we mentioned. That period had a lot of the same, but a much better pace. The Bruins picked up the skating game, especially when they went down 1-0.
Dale, Florida's been very solid in the third. When the Bruins have been vintage Claude Julien, they have owned the third. Maybe tonight's the night they turn the corner in the final period. It's 1-1 heading into the third period alongside Andy Brickley with Garrett Austin downstairs. And our NESN production crew, I'm Jack Edwards. Moments ago, Brick had a chance to chat with Bruins assistant coach Joe Sacco.
Joe, when you guys pre-scout this year's version of the Florida Panthers, what do you see differently?
Oh, stingy team. They don't give up a lot. Their goals against are down. Their scoring chances against are down. So we knew that it was going to be a tight checking game. They play a disciplined system, and they're sticking with it. They haven't deviated from it. So we just have to make sure that we don't deviate as well and continue to play our game.
Did you like the pace of your team more in that second period?
Yeah, we started to get up to speed in the second period. I thought the first period, obviously, we were a little bit behind. But, the more we can get pucks in behind their D, the more we keep our shift short, extend the shift with the next line, I think the better we're going to give ourselves a chance to win this game here tonight.
Thanks, Joe. Good luck in the third.
Okay, thanks, Brick.
Big night for Sean Thornton and a big night for his parents, Mark and Christine. Garen is with them.
Mark and Christine, how does it feel to see a tribute for Sean tonight?
This is a great night to be here. We're both happy to be here. We're having a blast. It's great.
When I asked Sean about the tribute, he said it was a lot for an Oshawa boy to take in. How proud are you of the values that you've instilled in him?
I'm very proud of everything that's going on, and it's really nice that Nesson's going to buy me a new motorcycle. I think this is great.
Well, I didn't know about that, but thank you guys. Thanks for being here. Thanks.
Good wheels. Why not? Hey, Haskins free, right? That was the moment during a commercial break in the first period, and you could tell what it meant to Sean Thornton. Now, what the next 20 minutes means is 2 points. Game summary is brought to you by your New England Chevy dealers. And it's funny how you sort of look at rosters before the season and make a few educated guesses as to how teams are going to fare. And by the depth of the Bruins defense, you would think that Boston would have had a really powerful start. And then little bits of plaster started falling out of the ceiling. And you look at Florida 1 through 7, because Colby Roback, who's playing wing tonight, is a defenseman. It's a young but pretty solid group.
Yeah, but this is when you take a look at the Bruin perspective.
Oh, there's a steal by Marchand. And Luongo denies it.
I mean, the phrase you want to use right now is you know what you have in front of you. Yep. We highlighted at the top of the broadcast, 5-2 in their last 7. On home ice, you're in a homestand. You're trying to put a lot of points in the bank because you don't want to be chasing it once you get after Thanksgiving. So know what you have to do here in the third period to make sure you win the hockey game.
Adam McQuaid takes the hit to move the puck to David Warsofsky around through the corner to Lucic. Boys pokes it away from him. Warsofsky takes it back.
And you can certainly get it done. Even in the absence of a Torrey Krug and a Zdeno Chara, a David Krejci.
Lucic goes wide, fires it off the apron. Ekblad knocks the puck to the top of the circle. Dougie Hamilton closes, fires it across the front. Kelly in a wrestling match with Ekblad. Couldn't find the handle.
Real nice look by Griffith in the offensive zone. Was strong on the puck, had good vision, and found Hamilton coming in from that right point.
Griffith pokes the puck back to Hamilton. Hamilton draws the attention of 3 Panthers, throws it in deep and changes out. Ryan Campbell to Scotty Upshaw. Forehand backhand cross ice. Joe Morrow, a late break on the puck, but angles it out. Let's go Bruins, the chant from the TD Garden crowd. Adam McQuaid lifts Hayes' stick. Hayes uses the big size. McQuaid got his stick stuck in the netting. It's actually stuck through the mesh on the stick side of Tuukka Rask. McQuaid has to give it a pretty tough yank to get it out of there. Now Carl Soderberg powers past Hayes, breaks into the zone. A huge hit from Olsen coming across. Soderberg gets stood up on it.
Well, Soderberg wanted Olsen to come over in order to make a pass beyond him to try to find Eriksson.
Here comes Trocheck over the line with Roback. Trocheck tries the wrap, turns to the forehand, throws it into the spoke B on Tuukka Rask's chest. Mitchell keeps the puck. No, he doesn't. It goes out into the neutral zone and it's offside.
Pretty good effort by Trocheck, but the strong stick by Griffith, and then the vision to find Hamilton. Hamilton finally takes it deep enough to commit. He gets Luongo to go down into the butterfly. But that play kind of just dies at the top of the crease, and there's Olsen coming across. That's a really good defensive play. Soderberg needed to pick him up just a hair sooner in order to deliver that puck to the high slot.
There's a pipeline from Chicago to Sunrise, Florida. Dylan Olsen and Jimmy Hayes coming across in the deal that sent Chris Versteeg back to Chicago for what, the 7th time in his career? Trocheck trickles the puck down Trotman's side of the ice. Grimaldi going to work. 5'6" number 23. Rocco Grimaldi. Gagne up to the blue line. Campbell has to chase it in front of the penalty bench doors. Chips it off glass. Pye can't drop kick it. McKenzie scrapes the puck down to the end boards. Trotman scoops it up in the backhand. Gets away from Kopetsky. Finds traffic in front of him. And slams it all the way around. Bergeron angles the puck down low with his skates. Riley Smith lifts Brian Campbell's stick. Bergeron right there in support. Kopetsky bunts it back to Thornton off McQuaid's stick and across into the neutral zone. Marchand, backhand, forehand, gains the line again. Wheels to Bergeron, taps it low off the end board for Smith now. Smith turns Ekblad, finds Marchand, comes all the way back to the middle of the blue line to Morrow. The wrist shot off a couple of sticks. Marchand grabs it with the glove. Fires it back to Morrow. The quick release. Bergeron follows it. And Luongo makes the stop.
Probably the most effective line tonight has been the Bergeron line. They do have the goal. And it was a similar shift to this one here that we just watched. Great movement in the offensive zone. Good puck support. Good puck pursuit. Use your points. Try to have a net front presence. All fundamentals. But this is a game of who's going to do more with the fundamentals and the system and the structure than the other team.
Bjugstad and Kelly on the face-off. And Kelly wins it cleanly. Seidenberg intentionally wide and angles around to Hamilton at the right point. Wrists it down into the corner. Lucic takes the hit from Goodbranson and leaves the puck for Kelly. Long diagonal. Seidenberg shot wide. Lucic trying to get it back in front. Hamilton's drive. The Bruins clocking big zone time here. This is what Joe Sacco was talking about in intermission with Brick. Following shift after shift. Hamilton in a battle, and he pokes it past Upshaw, and then up the wall. Upshaw fires it around. Hayes approaching Seidenberg. Seidenberg slips him and gets it to Lucic. He turns to Kelly. To Griffith over the line. Spoons it back to Kelly. Off the apron of the goal, and it dies for Kolyakov. Kolyakov to Mitchell. He wants to regroup. Here's Fleischmann alone working down Morsovsky's side. Boys on the end boards, turns it to the backhand. Fraser shuts down his space and tips it to Warsofsky. Taps it around through the corner. Soderberg comes back past the hash marks and rips it around the other way. And on near frictionless ice down the wall, it's going to go all the way for icing against the Bruins.
The Boston Bruins Foundation is auctioning off Brad Marchand, Louis Eriksson, Dennis Seidenberg, and other Bruins players' autographed Hockey Fights cancer jerseys that were worn during Tuesday's pregame warm-up. To place your bid, head to auctions.nhl.com. Bidding closes Friday at 5 p.m. Proceeds will help benefit the Boston Bruins Foundation.
Warsofsky on the pivot away from Roback. McQuaid the diagonal out of the zone to Fraser. Gets the red line and chips it down the wall. Fraser tries to go through Grimaldi, but can't. Grimaldi leads Trocheck. Roback with a big stride. Seidenberg locks up with him and bangs hard against the boards. Grimaldi right in front. It comes past the post. Grimaldi keeps jamming. It's underneath Rask. And Seidenberg dives down to make sure the puck's out of the crease if it gets covered up and shoves it back under Rask's pads.
Soderberg wants a possession play in the neutral zone, and he wants to chip this puck on his back check back to Seidenberg, but it's just a kind of a dump in. This is working to Florida's favor. Florida able to get really that forecheck in motion because it served as a chip in, and now Seidenberg's at a disadvantage having to go pivot under pressure. A pretty good effort by that fourth unit by Florida. Grimaldi had a chance for the Panthers to take the lead on that weak side.
Trotman hammers it off the boards. Good read from Ekblad. Throws it off the stick of Warsofsky. Now on the pivot, Marchand with Smith. Marchand stops it. A saving dive from Brian Campbell, tipping the puck away.
Marchand had that little curl and drag and thought he had the time. And just that last little reach by Campbell with the stick while he was laying on the ice.
Smith indirect from Marchand. The shot busts through Luongo. loose. Marchand and Warsofsky going for the same spot, and they bump into each other. Sean Thornton for Florida. If you're just joining us across the top of the hour, you tuned in at a good moment. Bruins and Florida Panthers deadlocked 1-1 mid-third period. Brad Marchand shaking his head. A couple of almosts tonight for him. Dale, thank you very much. Claude Julien just signing a multi-year contract extension. He stands 70 coaching wins behind Art Ross for the all-time franchise lead.
Following your lead with those extensions.
Lucic wheels it across the front. I think his record's a little bit better than mine. Unlike me, he will find work after this job if he chooses. I'll be splitting wood in Vermont. Lucic takes the pass across the defensive zone. Pulls it away from Bjugstad. Swoops across the Florida line. Goodbranson using the pick from Upshaw. And Dougie Hamilton has a little bit of space in which to skate because Florida was a little late on the change. Tries to slip it through to Pyatt. Tries again, and Mitchell blocks it. Tries a third time, and Mitchell takes it away from the post. Now Jokinen, who scored the Florida goal in the second period for a 1-0 lead. Mitchell's blast, and the blocker stopped by Raz. Seidenberg off the boards and spins in front of Gagne. Flattens the puck. The dart cross ice for Pyatt with Campbell middle. Kolikov with a stick block. Campbell trickles it toward the crease, but Boyes turns it away. Boyes shoves the puck over to Kolikov. Brad Boyes, 144 games in a Boston uniform, 39 goals. And he had that 1 year with St. Louis where he lit it up for 43 in a season. Hamilton waiting, doesn't get much on the pass, and so it dies before the line. Grimaldi there. Just a little ball of energy. Rocco Grimaldi.
You know when it's best to score the most goals you've ever scored in a season? Option year.
I was going to say when it's your contract year. Cha-ching. Aaron Ekblad taps it around. Grimaldi angles the stick to get it past Warsofsky and out to center. Louis Eriksson has the puck. D-to-D to Zach Trotman. Now here comes Warsofsky. Fires it right in on Luongo, who angles the puck to the corner. Ekblad tries to staple Eriksson in there. McKenzie spins it loose. Eriksson to Warsofsky, quickly hopping on the puck. Scoots to the backhand. Now turns it to Soderberg. His shot deflects twice. And Marchand looks at the referee after he goes for a tumble. But such is life if you make your living in the slot.
And so did Luongo look at the ref.
Oh, come on. Olsen heels the shot. Trotman takes a couple of strides and then gives it back to Olsen in the neutral zone. McKenzie drills the puck off the boards. Rask gives it away to Kopetsky. Kopetsky, the drive from Thornton on the backup, wide of the dot. Riley Smith with the self pass finds it. Branson's second effort knocks it loose. Warsofsky with Thornton approaching. Warsofsky gets caved in, takes a hit to move it to Bergeron. Bergeron up to the red line, hard cross corner for Marchand. Kolikov tips the backhand off the boards, goes indirect for Upshaw. Upshaw takes the Thornton pass right across the blue line for Mitchell. Mitchell gets angled off on McQuaid's hit. McQuaid right into Kelly's skates in front of the Boston goal. He plays it to safety in the corner. Marchand with the pivot gets mixed up with Jimmy Hayes. Now saucers the backhand to McQuaid. McQuaid wide for Griffith. Griffith cross corner, takes a hop off the end boards. Jokinen around for Upshaw. Upshaw shielding against Griffith and Lucic. Jokinen middle, gives it away to Kelly. Kelly's shot, Kolikov with the block, and he can skate. He'll take it up Morrow's side. Morrow, oh, Kolikov does a whirly bird into the boards as Morrow gets the leverage. Fleischmann, Brian Campbell spins it off the corner. Fleischmann Deking, holding, tries to slip it past the post to Jokinen, who dives and gets no sympathy from any of the on-ice officials. Here's Griffith over the line. Lucic jumps ahead. He's offside. 9:13 to go in the game. 1-1 with the Bruins in Florida. Joe Morrow showing some leverage. And there goes Kolyikov. Key play brought to you by your New England Audi dealers.
Well, after the Florida Panthers had taken a lead on the Jokinen goal, the Bruins respond. The most consistent line tonight for the Bruins ties it. Bergeron with a little spinorama, but it started with a turnover in the neutral zone. And a good forecheck by Bergeron initially, support by Marchand. Good read and react by Riley Smith. Again, puck pursuit, puck support, and a quick release.
Jokinen wins the faceoff against Soderberg. Brian Campbell, D to Ekblad, who gives it right back. Ekblad rolls it around. Hamilton with boys on his back. Hamilton stays with it. Jokinen blocks the passage of the puck and then wraps it around. Ekblad, the rookie, takes the hit to move it deep. Boys battling Soderberg, who reaches around but can't get it past Brian Campbell. Campbell back to Boys, who A-frames against Hamilton. Here's Jokinen in the wing, sends it in front. Fleischmann had Rask out of position, trickles it under his pads and through the crease. Campbell along the line. Ekblad, good zone time here for Florida, but this comes off a skate and back to center. Florida moving the puck quickly.
Yeah, I'd like to see Hamilton win a little bit more of a battle there against Brad Boys below the goal line. Boys wins that battle, and now you're kind of scrambling in your own zone.
Ekblad right into Riley Smith's pads. Ekblad angles him off. For a rookie defenseman, Ekblad really shining. This is his 10th game of his career.
Well, we've talked a lot about Florida and their improved play, their improved personnel. Some of those areas can be measured in their compete level, and Panthers do a nice job down deep in the Bruins' defensive zone to possess that puck and get pucks to dangerous areas out in front of Rask.
Marchand to Bergeron off of Trocheck's stick in the corner glass. Joe Morrow all the way down to the corner. Trocheck getting in the way. Ekblad flips the backhand to Roback, but Marchand gets it deep again. Now the Bruins try to turn the tables on Florida just as the Panthers had possession in Boston's end. Bergeron, no angle shot. Ekblad sprays it off the end boards. Grimaldi lifts it off glass softly. Trocheck skates onto it. Morrow taps it loose in front of the Florida bench. Marchand to Smith. Smith holds, trickles it toward the top of the circle. Marchand attacks the puck. Finds Smith. Smith dekes on Brian Campbell, who pokes the puck loose and then dribbles it out to Grimaldi. Grimaldi gains the red line, I guess.
Follow through.
Yeah, his stick isn't that long, Brick. He's only 5'6". There, maybe it deflected off a Boston player. Lucic down the boards. Griffith with Olsen lining him up. Griffith loses an edge. Olsen pries it through the corner. Hayes tries to angle it out. Upshaw throwing his body in the way of Seidenberg, who one hand pries it back to the circle. Upshaw taps back to Dylan Olsen. Indirect pass to Upshaw. Got a piece of the puck. Hard backhand around through the corner. Bjugstad stabs to Goodbranson. The wrist shot off the post on the deflection. High slot. Goodbranson hit the target, and Rask got a little bit fortunate as the iron turned the puck back.
Now the Bruins went with the wraparound where they bypassed the D, try to get it all the way to Lucic, but Florida made a nice play to get it back to that right point.
Warsofsky working straight out of the Boston zone. He's got Pye flying up the right side in pursuit. Pye hard with the puck. Kolyikov stops it in the corner, but Pye gets it away with help from Gregory Campbell. Campbell in traffic, whacks it back. Kolyikov quickly to it, snaps the puck out of the zone. McQuaid flips into Kopecky. Thornton going hard to the end boards. Thornton with more than 14 minutes of ice time. His career high is 15:44, and there's 6 minutes to go in the game. Kopecky drags it over the line. Thornton can't clear the zone. 5:56 to go in the game. The post keeps this game tied. And when we come back, Frick, what is it?
Winning time.
Mika Coverage Cam presented by Amica Insurance, now with new lower auto insurance rates for Massachusetts drivers.
Real good effort by Bukestad, Florida Panthers, to get to this loose puck. The Bruins go with the wraparound up the wall, gets slowed down, but just that long reach of the stick and the strength, he's able to get to that puck first, chip it back to the right point, and it looks like this puck actually gets deflected, but it doesn't.
Yeah.
It doesn't. It goes through everybody because it's on edge and it's dipping. It actually, puck bounces on edge and changes direction dramatically and catches the post.
I deduced that had to have been redirected by a stick because it changed angles so much, but you never know. You never know. Let's go Bruins, the chant from the TD Garden crowd in the final 5.5 minutes. Marchand, a very good night for the Bergeron line. Bergeron battling for the puck, and he wins another puck battle on the boards. Riley Smith to Bergeron, trying to lean into Brian Campbell. Now Brad Boyes skates it out of the corner, guns the pass, hops over Fleischmann's stick. Seidenberg with Boyes right there. Now Hamilton gives to Soderberg, the one touch off the boards. Dylan Olsen goes cross ice. Eric Branson on the pivot, long diagonal with a lot behind it. It's a billiard shot in on Rask. Morrow, the quick backhand forehand to get the puck to Fraser, cross ice. Soderberg swerves middle, looking for Eriksson. Bukestad goes all the way to the defensive corner.
Good stick by Olsen.
Good Branson from a knee. Fraser rolls the puck cross ice. Olsen whacks it up to the red line. Hayes there, 1 against 2. Back pressure from Eriksson, and on the front side, Fraser taking it away. McQuaid gets nothing on it. Hayes takes it away. McQuaid plays the body, and Fraser's there for the puck. Fraser hard off the dasher, and it frisbees all the way down to the Florida zone.
Yeah, Bruins had something going when they went wing to wing through the neutral zone. Fraser made the initial pass. Nearly a 2-on-1, and Olsen disrupted the play.
Grimaldi quick to the puck underneath Hamilton, but Hamilton wins it back. Kelly to Griffith. Lucic in front of him. Off Mitchell back into the defensive zone, so play continues. To Grimaldi to quick move around Kelly. Grimaldi flying into the Boston zone. Gives the right side to Trocheck, and a glove save by Rask. Rocco Grimaldi on the rush.
Join Bruins Movember, a month-long initiative to raise awareness for men's health and cancers that affect men. To show your support, sign up and shave down to grow a mustache for the month of November, or donate to Bruins players. This week, raise $10 for your chance to win 2 tickets to Thursday's game against Edmonton. To learn more, sign up or donate, visit bostonbruins.com/Movember.
Defensive zone face-off. Patrice Bergeron out to take it against Derek McKenzie, who wins it cleanly back to Campbell. Morrow going underneath Thornton. Campbell lugs it out to the red line. Ekblad punching it back forward. Now it's Campbell off the boards for Kopecky. Tuukka Rask steers it to Joe Morrow. Hard pass up for Riley Smith to Bergeron. To Smith cutting behind Bergeron. Into the zone. Bergeron hoists the backhand. Wing to Marchand. Tries to get it down the boards, but Brian Campbell blocks it. And Sean Thornton lobs it off glass into the Boston end. Dennis Seidenberg all the way to the corner. Takes a big hit from Dylan Olsen. Fraser has a little bit of a hard time with the referee down in the corner. And Olsen will spin back at his own goal as we click past 3 minutes to go. Olsen north and south. Fleischmann redirects from behind the red line. Quickly ruled no icing. Dougie Hamilton spins back away from Jokinen. No mistakes allowed at this point. 2:40 to go in the game. Soderberg gains the line with Eriksson on the net drive. Soderberg working against Willie Mitchell. The veteran defenseman takes the puck away, but McQuaid keeps it in the zone. Soderberg taps to Fraser. The quick snap release. Oh, he got a lot on that one in half a step.
From long range.
McQuaid chips into the corner. Mitchell back after it. Lucic waiting and makes contact with Mitchell, who reverses to Kolyakov. McQuaid keeps it at the line. Oh, that one comes up hard off Eriksson. I think the puck hit him, not a stick. Morrow gains the line on the left side, fires into Luongo's body. About 2 minutes to go in the game. And the face-off in the Florida zone.
I thought it was a stick that came up, and I'll tell you, if it's the puck, that's pretty good eyes by the officials. I thought it was a stick that definitely got him, and Upshaw's been a guy that's gotten a lot of minor penalties.
Yep.
How is that not a penalty call? I mean, that's got to be made. Just about to make the point, too, just before this play, Jack, that a team that's, 28th most penalized team in the league?
Yep.
Or third most, depending on how you look at it? Third most, I guess. Yep. Hadn't had a minor penalty all night, or a penalty all night for that matter. They catch a break right there.
Yep. Been shorthanded 47 times in 9 games. And have allowed 11 power play goals, so staying out of the box is so key for Florida.
That would be a Florida key.
Margaritaville. Lucic drives it wide on the stick side of Luongo. Seidenberg trickles it past Bjugstad. Kelly in pursuit. Ekblad around to Upshaw, and he spins it clear. Minute and a half to go. Bergeron line out there one more time. Marchand going up the left side, receives Seidenberg's pass, gets it over the line to Smith, tries to bunt it through to Marchand. Marchand on Olsen now on the end board. Bergeron always there for help. Marchand tries to go through Olsen, does on the second effort. Bergeron brings it back to Morrow. Morrow's wrist shot, tip, never gets through. Olsen clears to the corner. Bergeron can't get it through Roback, wins it back on the stick lift.
1 minute remaining in the period.
Back of his own goal, final minute of the game. Marchand off the skates from Trocheck. Grimaldi tries to backhand it high, and it goes low. 3/4 of a minute to go. Marchand had both skates across the line. He was offside when the puck got to him.
Some anxious moments for the Florida Panthers in the final minute and a half here in this third period, a 1-1 game. The Bergeron line keeping pressure in the offensive zone. Luongo kind of handed the puck back to the Bruins when he had a chance for a possession play, but Bruins couldn't get any real clean looks at the Panther goal.
Gregory Campbell against Derek McKenzie on the faceoff. Campbell wins it. Seidenberg around for Eriksson. Mitchell backs off. Eriksson loops it out past the red line. Willie Mitchell goes D to D. Dmitry Kolyakov does not connect with Thornton, and that's going to be icing. 31.6 seconds showing on the center ice scoreboard clock, and the Bruins have an attacking zone faceoff.
Yeah, they can get the matchups they want now. Change of personnel. Definitely going to get Bergeron on the ice, try to get this draw. Marchand, who's been around the puck all night long, and they're going to put Lucic up front and try to get a net front presence.
Bergeron 2 for 5 against McKenzie on the night. Rare that he's under 50% against anyone. He wins this draw. Lucic taking it to the corner in the final 30 seconds. To Hamilton, the snapshot, St. Luongo, pop-up rebound. Kolyakov, Bergeron steals, centers. It's off the skates of Mitchell, and Marchand jamming at the top of the crease. Seidenberg backhands it to the corner in the final 15 seconds. And McKenzie knocks it off the boards out to center. 5 seconds to go, and this game will go to overtime.
Well, if you've been following the Florida Panthers through their first 9 games this year, this is no surprise. A low-scoring, less than 2 goals, 1-goal game where it's going to be decided either late or in overtime or a shootout.
They will dry scrape the entire ice surface. Overtime's been pretty exciting this year. Dale and Barry will look around the league when we come back, and then we'll have 5 minutes of sudden death. Fellas, thank you very much. 1-1 at the end of 60 minutes of play, and here's how we ended up in overtime.
Well, it started with the Panthers getting on the board first. They worked the puck out of their zone very well, and a couple things happened to the Bruins. It's either a read of a 4-on-3 or just a bad read in general, because both defensemen back off the blue line and just give up too much room in the offensive zone. Secondly, the second and third forwards a little late on that back pressure. and Jokinen finishes off the play with a good wrist shot, glove side. Bruins create the turnover in the neutral zone. The pace of the game picked up in that second period, especially when the Bruins got down by a goal. And the Bergeron line, the most consistent line tonight for Boston, all over the play in the offensive zone with their good puck pressure, puck pursuit, close proximity, support, short little passes, and Bergeron scores on that quick spinorama top shelf.
The game report brought to you by your New England Ford dealers. Jussi Jokinen opening the scoring, and Patrice Bergeron answering for the Bruins 3 minutes and 25 seconds later. The save of the game brought to you by Digital Federal Credit Union. What can DCU save you? Brad Marchand with a great opportunity.
You just hate to use that phrase. You'd like to have this one back, but there's an opportunity for Marchand to stay hot. Gets a chance in tight, really has almost half the net from above that right pad up into the crossbar, but Luongo lays out and gets it.
Marchand with 3 shots on goal tonight. Patrice Bergeron with 6. Sean Thornton, a career high 16 minutes 3 seconds time on ice tonight in his homecoming to Boston.
Claude Julien going with his strengths right off the bat.
3-1. The Bergeron line, Marchand and Smith the wings, and Dougie Hamilton the lone defenseman. Scotty Upshall, Scott Bjugstad, Willie Mitchell, and Dmitry Kulikov, the 4 skaters for Gerard Gallant's Florida Panthers. Here's Hamilton flying into the zone, pulls up, gets checked off by Upshall. Bergeron's there in support against Mitchell to win it for Marchand. Hamilton's shot off some bodies in front. Bjugstad takes the hit from Smith to clear. But this is where the long change really comes in. Marchand turns off the boards, saucers it over to Smith. Smith cross ice, Seidenberg to Marchand down the slot. Could not get the puck to sit on his stick. Bergeron doing a great job creating traffic in front there as well. Smith trying to feed Marchand. Smith turns back to the boards. Marchand has Bergeron in front. The shot goes wide. Seidenberg jumping down the boards. Now Grimaldi, who's been a water bug and has some offensive talent. He comes flying up the ice, turns on Soderberg, the backhander. Couldn't get it under the bar. And the faceoff will be inside the zone, I believe.
Oh, what opportunities for this line. Great rotation in the offensive zone. Riley Smith, little pump fake, finds Soderberg at the point. The fake shot. Marchand just couldn't handle that puck off his right skate because he had a gaping, wide open net. It rolls off the stick, or the skate, misses the stick, right to the pad of Luongo, and then they kept the play below the goal line again. Marchand feeding Bergeron on the slot. I don't know if he healed it, if it was deflected. Missed on the stick side.
Brian Campbell. A steal by Eriksson. Eriksson glides over the line.
He's got possession.
That's that rarest of calls. But Derek Amell, the linesman, looking right across the blue line, ruled that he was offside.
If you're in possession of the puck and he's calling offside on Eriksson, that's a tough one to take.
Shrug of the shoulders from Eriksson. Kelly chops the face-off loose. Joe Morrow draws Jokinen. Kelly. Morrow. Griffith on the right with the puck off the stick of Grimaldi. Here's Jokinen. Morrow rides him off. Kelly takes a swat at it, lifts Jokinen's stick, gives back to Morrow. The 2 forwards change out for Florida. Kopecky onto the ice along with Trocheck. Campbell rims it around. Trocheck back across his own zone. Could have been a fatal mistake in this game. They're still not out of the zone yet. Griffith for Kelly. Kelly against Brian Campbell. Back to Morrill. Morrill off of Campbell's stick. He would have had a rink-length breakaway. Griffith to Kelly. It hops over his blade, and he'll have to go back to the Boston zone. Ekblad with speed. Aaron Ekblad in. The backhand goes wide of the stick. Lucic plasters into Trocheck. Kelly spins the puck back for Morrill.
Be patient. Kelly's exhausted. Hang on to the puck. Be a little patient.
Lucic lugs it into the attacking zone. Eriksson fresh onto the ice off the corner boards. Lucic away from Goodbranson. Back to Hamilton. Catches it on the forehand. Hamilton loses control, but then swats it away from Boyes, who at this stage of his career isn't going to win too many races.
Hamilton wanted to go back to Lucic, but he was going for change.
Fraser to Soderberg, all the way to the dot. Leaves it along the boards for Eriksson, trying to get it to Fraser in front.
He was open.
Olsen pokes the puck to the corner. Fraser with a steal, has Eriksson with him. Olsen recovers towards the shoulder into Fraser. Knocks it around past the Zamboni doors. Hamilton down the boards. Eriksson on the spin. Goodbranson turning away from Eriksson's pressure. Soderberg takes a swipe at the puck. Boyes doesn't get much on it. Hamilton, the quick up to Marchand. Gains the line, goes around Olsen. He scores! Brad Marchand wins it for the Bruins! He was frustrated once. He was frustrated twice. The third time's the charm, and Marchand is the hero.
If you were going to lay some money on the goal scorer in overtime, he would have been a great pick. Around the puck all night. So many almosts. You were wondering if he was going to be able to finish one off tonight, stay hot. Well, he does, and he does it at the perfect time. Fresh off the bench. Explodes through the neutral zone. Boyes just gives the puck up. Bruins angle them off. Quick counterattack, one-on-one. Speed to the outside. Don't have to make a whole lot of fakes if you keep your feet moving. Nifty little move, and what a finish. High blocker. Luongo a little deep in his net. Great individual effort by Brad Marchand in the neutral zone on the attack. And the Bruins win it in overtime to stay hot. 6-2 in their last 8.
Well, full marks to the Florida Panthers for improving the structure of their team. But the Bruins never quit with their own system. And Brad Marchand has moved into a tie with Oliver Ekman-Larsson for the league lead in overtime goals with 2. And once again, in an overtime victory, the Bruins never led during the game, just when it counted the most, Dale.
The only time it matters, Jack.